Namaskar, hello and welcome to this very special commemoration on 15th of July 2026. It is recognized as the World Youth Skills Day, and we at Rethink India Institute have chosen to dedicate this very special day because this is the most pertinent thematic, like the entire galaxy of young agitators have squatted the whole of Jantar Mantar, and we do have our I would say our support and a concern to Sonam Wangchuk sir, who is on hunger strike 17 days and counting. So the Republic of Sanatan Bharat, that is India, it has been dotted by doyens of eminence like the World Youth Skills Day we have dedicated to none other than the beloved President Dr. APJ Abdul Kalam, the missile man of the country, and who had his great affinity to the youngsters because he came from a very, I would say, a very humble background and rose to such a prominent first citizen of the country. And we would be commemorating his Punya Tithi on 27th of July. And then his birthday, 15th of October, is commemorated as the World Students Day. तो छात्र का जो भाव है कि जीवन भर कुछ सीखते जाना और ज्ञान विज्ञान प्रज्ञान जो कौशल है शिक्षा और कौशल there is a whole narrative of it all, and today while education is very important, which talks about the why of things, the what and how is also very very important, and that's where skills come into play. And today when AI, artificial intelligence and all, they are taking it over, when a handful of engineers, they are curating very big data centers across the world, and a lot of human effort is getting reduced to machine, and and a whole lot of imagination comes into play. So I think skills, the focus on skills come into very play. How we can program some of the finest AI bots over there, and we can extract work out of it. We have to become worksmen to create things rather than criticize, condemn, and become a babu, because somewhere or the other, Bharatiya Sabhyata, the Indian civilization, has somehow become a civilization of clerks, the babus, the paper pushers, because that has become a kind of a endless fetish for ourselves. And today, this day, it talks about that what will it take to equip every young person with the competencies they need to thrive in a shared future. Now, the shared future, it's a kind of a euphemism in a colonized future by machines, like all the core power that will be with the big four tech corporations. We are also using the power of technology. So, technology will be a platform that, like after, I would say, the steam engines, the electricity, the internet, the computing powers, I think the whole layer of work would get improved. So we would not need the army of clerks to run this country. And the expectations and aspirations of the republic, the youngsters per se, would really exponentiate over there. And that's where the public policy, the public servants have to really come up to the mark to really deliver, to create enabling policies and structures whereby we become a creator's economy rather than a clerical economy that lakhs and lakhs of people are just mugging up to vomit in a kind of examination where the end job role is just to push papers out there, because AI has got much better analytical capabilities to really run the host of public offices for that matter. And hukmarani ka jo bhav hai, I think India was the sone ki chidiya, India was the prosperous country, and we had 25% odd the kind of share in the world GDP, the gross domestic product, global domestic product, because we were creators. We were not paper pushers. We were not the clerics, which the Britishers somewhere created a kind of a atmosphere out here. Fine, clerical and administrative jobs are the at a different level. They are the most minion of the jobs. The real creators, they would create a computer program. They would create a kind of a new technology to go into the space. They would create good products, and for all that we need skills, the hands-on skills. Education in action is perhaps skills. That is the simplistic version, we can say so, rather than going into well. And we are joined in by Dr. Surbhi, and doctors, they are taught right from their Prof 1 the skills of teaching. And in fact, somewhere or the other, we talk in the engineering and technological domain that let's learn from the doctors. They are trained to interact with the best machine, which humans perhaps might not be able to build even close to a fraction of what Mother Nature has provided it across. And just try to see the pedagogy out there, that how the hands-on experience, let's learn it from the horse's mouth, that is to how the essential medical skills are really impregnated right from the very first year, and that is what we have to all intersperse and incorporate in all our lives. Dr. Surbi.
So, we're talking about the youth skills and how in medical parlance the skills are, so important to be indoctrinated right from the first second professional to the third professional. And, learning the skills is really so exciting and so pertinent to the growth of a making of a doctor. And believe you me, without the skills, the actual churning out of the medical healing practices cannot be achieved. Skills are so very important. Just we do not need to we do not have to become just talking toms, talking taruns. We have to be the doing deepaks. So the skills bring words in action, thoughts in action, theory in action.
सो लाइक क्लिनिकल मेथड्स डॉक्टर सुरभि वुड बी टॉकिंग कि जैसे ही पेशेंट आपके क्लिनिक के अंदर आता है, वेर एवर वेदर इट्स एन एम्स ओपीडी और वेदर इट्स अ मेदांता ओपीडी, द ट्रेन्ड डॉक्टर, द स्किल्ड डॉक्टर कैन understand, it makes a hypothesis right when the patient enters by watching, looking. So these are the kind of fine skills which are required rather than remaining dependent. The higher medical technology and gadgets and testings, that is somewhat at a different layer and level. And somewhere or the other, the great clinicians, they are someone who make a provisional diagnosis beforehand, but then evidence-based medicine, they say that okay, let's depend on let the readings come, and then they corroborate, this is what I had surmise, the kind of deduction what the detective Sherlock Holmes talks about it. So this is one domain of it all. And similarly, I would say, whether it is mechanical engineering, the domain of engineering, whether it is accountancy, see, technology has come is a great boon, but until or unless we develop ourselves in the human brain, some of the core skills like computational skills, there's a lot of talk about the mathematical skills. हम सवाल सॉल्व कर पा रहे हैं कि नहीं कर पा रहे. In our classrooms, we are made to solve, we are made to mug up a lot of things, and then doing it by hand, to create something, to make something. I think when we were in the pre-primary classes, we really put all our head, heart, and hands. They were in sync. But the more education we go, the head grows, the heart dries up, and hands remain somewhere, I would say, in a different fuzzy. Like in the medical space, Dr. Surbi would tell that even if the job role is of the nursing clans, but the doctors are trained to administer the intravenous.
Absolutely, from sample collection to IV injections, and from the very point the patient walks in, from inspection, palpation, percussion, auscultation, the clinical methods, these are also skills to arrive at a diagnosis, and then procedures from biopsy measures, bone marrow biopsies, and the lumbar punctures, and
So the pedagogy in a medical school is somewhat, which is a hands-on. Apart from the classroom stuff, they have ward rounds, they are given rotations, and in fact, in the medical space, if your internship has not gone through substantively, you are not actually eligible even for the medical council registrations, or even for the higher educations for that matter. So somewhere like today, the word youth is skills day. The core premise, what we really want to push upon for individuals and institutions per se. There is a talk like skilling has now to start at the school level itself. Skilling, we cannot wait it across, and one of the highest, one of the best resource base every school has got is to invite the parents who are in various professions. They can come, they can teach, they can share their experiences in I would say a lot of elite schools, they are really inviting the parents so that they can share as to how this knowledge, this theoretical foundational knowledge actually gets into practice, how the skills, legal skills, how to draft a legal paper. If you are writing a letter, an academic exercise, how can you really use that skill to really write a representation to the local authorities, to the state level authorities, to the national authorities for that matter. So skills are aplenty, and In this forum, we really want to discuss upon, as we said, that there are three kind of skills, as you can see on this sheet, and this is what we have dedicated to APJ Abdul Kalam sir. And we at Rethink India would be bestowing upon the APJ Abdul Kalam appreciations for adroitly augmenting the 21st century skills. And 27th of July and 15th of October, that's a kind of a time frame we have kept it for learning from all the educational institutions as to how they are doing the learning and innovation skills, how they're impregnating it across in terms of critical thinking and problem solving, in terms of communication skills, अपनी बात को रख पाना दोस्तों के बीच, अपने parents के बीच, the confidence which is required out there, the clarity which is required for that matter, and that is what education is all about. Collaboration skills, creativity and innovation. Then digital literacy skills, but because this has become the kind of baseline skill deck apart from the literacy and numeracy what the new education policy has come about. So information literacy, media literacy, ICT literacy. Then obviously the very core of it all, the life and career skills, flexibility and adaptability. In this VUCA era, quickly something can really knock off, and then you have to find out innovative and creative ways to really restore it across. Initiative and self direction, खुद से कुछ इनिशिएटिव लेना, खुद से काम को करना. Social and cross cultural skills, productivity and accountability and leadership. So a whole lot of skills they are required out there, and we are inviting the entire domain of K-12 schools, higher education institutions and others to apply for this APJ Abdul Kalam appreciation 2026. This is the form for the last year, but we are going to three skills. We said that learning and innovation skills, life and career skills, digital literacy skills. So it's a quite a involved form, if we can say so. And there is a very nominal fee of 1931 linked to the birthday of APJ Abdul Kalam sir. So the 12th tide of 21st century skills as practiced at your institution. So how it is practiced, we are asking the various institutions, the quad of learning and innovation skills, you have to really give commentaries on each one of them. So this is a kind of a framework which really helps every educational institution of any genre or any level for that matter, because the skilling has to start from the schools these days. So even the NCERT has come up with a Kaushal Bodh kind of a book. The book is fine, but on the larger framework, how things are being really delivered, that is somewhat which is needed going forward. Then we are talking about how the triad of digital literacy skills are really impregnated into the students. So in the K-12 school category, the higher education category, we would be evaluating this all. And the Pentet, so from 15th of July till 15th of October, that's a kind of a time frame we are giving it across, so that institutions of all genre, all denominations can come. They can file up their whole skill matrix for that matter. The Pentet of life and career skills. So this is not just about plain English or Hindi or any other language per se. पर हम इन दिशाओं में कर क्या रहे हैं? How are we creating employable graduates? Friends, you would be knowing that China has really all of a sudden they have discontinued 1200 plus degrees at the university level all of a sudden, because they say that the entire workflow, the entire economy is going in a different direction. So they said that there is no need to mug up or to really go for the higher education in those very domains. So that is adaptability and flexibility की लाइफ. अरे हमने तो ये सीखा ही नहीं है, तो किया ही नहीं, हम तो मग रहे थे 4 साल एक क्लरिकल एग्जाम के लिए, whether it is whatever UPSC or whatever. We have no qualms in saying that, because this country has been really infected and infested by clerks rather than creators, and creators are looked down upon, they are frowned upon by these very clerks, because the republic is swelling. It's like the batter which says that okay, we have to really create. So creators economy has to be there, and then only this economy will make any sense. The innovation, the creation, breaking the ceilings what this clerical civilization has imposed upon us. So somewhere or the other there is a need for a next Indian independence movement for that matter, which has to be through constitutional mechanisms. So what all subjects we are studying, we are reading, these subjects have to be really put into action. If we are reading something, our constitutional rights in the civics textbook, are we really given a chance to deploy it? Are we really given a chance to file a CP Grams complaint for a broken public service in our nearby vicinity? Do our schools or do our families really help us do that? Because that is what the creative constitutional resistance has to come through. I just gave a very different example, like cooking in the household. For example, becoming a chef is something, a skill, which is so much life dependent and depending entirely on the Zomatos and the Swiggies of the world and the restaurants which are using all inferior material largely and at a fraction of a cost. We can really cook it right in our houses. The kind of beautiful cooking technology is there, very beautiful gadgets. So that's a skill we should really adopt for our own selves, like, because feeding the body is so very important for that matter. Like similarly, cleaning your household or cleaning your even room is a skill, like keeping your clothes tidy. So these are the very basic life skills which you really need it. Yes, our evolving economy is putting up a lot of insta help, so and so forth. But if we do a kind of a total time benefit analysis, the kind of privacy we can enjoy by doing our course ourselves, and the kind of money we spend in, and when we reduce a lot of otherwise we become couch potatoes. Arey bhai, if we have some dishes, why can't we do it ourselves? Why can't we really take out our vacuum cleaner or a broom and clean our own household? So it is a kind of a, like, from a health perspective, we have an Amazonian doctor. Ki doctor sahab, how much you feel कि if we really get into these basic so-called mundane skills of life, I think we can save a lot of money. We can save a lot of money, first of all, on the extraneous help unduly, and also on the health perspective. Going
Absolutely, it's so very healthy, rather than spending so much money going to the gym. Household codes are so rich in healthcare practices, because they involve locomotor actions of the hands, of the limbs, of the entire mind, brain, and you feel, it's a family bonding exercise as well. It makes you much more empowered, self-reliant.
या सो स्किल्स आर ऑल अराउंड अस. अब घर में अगर इलेक्ट्रीशियन का काम है, वी हैव बिकम एन इंजीनियर एंड वी कांट पुट अप अ प्लग, वी हैव टू कॉल समवेयर फ्रॉम अ ऐप कि भैया ये लगा दो. आई थिंक दैट्स अ स्किल वर्थ लर्निंग. एंड हियर वी विल से दैट द वेस्टर्न सोसाइटीज, दे आर क्वाइट आत्मनिर्भर in that matter. They are not so very dependent on a large array of help, and I think that attitude towards skilling can be really impregnated at the school level itself. कि भाई घर पे जाके what does your father do? Have you really asked your father some questions about his profession? He might be an artisan, he might be a manufacturer of something. Have you really even visited their own plant? So I think for those students whose parents are into even management skills, how to manage yourself, I think that's a very important skill. That okay, I have got say 10-12 hours of the daytime, how I am managing my own life. Am I using an app to monitor my habits? That's also a skill. So I think the spectrum of skills is phenomenal, and the World Youth Skills Day talks about that, from the very basic mundane day-to-day lives, because nothing is mundane for that matter. If your house is stinking and you are doing some top-level AI programming, I think both are required. We need to have the highest level of programming skills using the Claude, whatever highest version. That is great. But at the same time, we have to broom our house, we have to keep our clothes in a tidy closet. So the division of labor, what Adam Smith talked about it, I think the era of fourth industrial revolution is bringing us back, that a single human can really converge together. The kind of productivity he can really bring it, I think that is the future of skills. We have to be really ambidextrous, I would say multidextrous across the 360-degree spectrum, because that will make us really efficacious for that matter. Because moving from one segment to the other segment, there is a lot of loss of it all. And in fact, corporations, they are coming on a big way. They are looking for all-rounders who can do data design communications for that matter, who have gift of the gab, power of the pen, who have analytical programmable capabilities also, so that they can program AI agents for that matter to create complex tasks. People who have a bit of an accounting sense also. You pick up a lot of skills. Micro certifications have come in so big way. There is so much of content all across social media, if you use it for that matter. In fact, I would rather say it from this forum that even the most vulgar of the content which people are concerned from a profanity on and any moralistic perspective, if you see it from an educational eye, from a learner's perspective, you can find some 5, 10, a dozen learning material from there also. So skills need that attitude and aptitude for picking up wherever we can, and training our mind like the way we are training, like the way gigawatts of data centers and AI models, LLMs as we are calling it, they are being programmed, they are learning and they are evolving. So why can't we learn that skill from the AI itself, ki how AI is programming? Education is nothing but programming the mind, the human intelligence. We have got such a fine cerebrum and the kind of memory it has got, the synapses we have got. I think that is a subject matter, Dr. Saab, for a different day. That emulating the human brain with a computational ecosystem, and still a human brain surpasses it all. And these computation systems are well with the multi-billion or trillion corporations for that matter. But the human brain is with each one of us. And how we can जक्स्टापोज कि जो काम हमें बॉट्स को देना है वो हमने बॉट्स को दे दिया, और जो काम हमें खुद करना है वह भी एक स्किल है. तो आई थिंक टुडेज कोर मैसेज व्हाट वी रियली वांट टू पुट अक्रॉस टू ऑल, especially the institutional academia, that there is nothing to be fear about technology. We have to evolve. Schools have also have to get their adaptation skills, that how as a organization they are really helping their learners, the 3,000, 5,000, 10,000 kids under their care, to the future of learning, the future of skills. Because somewhere or the other, one of the narratives is going that okay, the schools, the institutional frameworks, the campuses would go obsolete. That's a extraordinary debate, because socializing is something which is very much required. You go and meet your teacher, you greet them, you meet your friends. That's a social skill which you learn from the schools. It is not just some 4 or 5 subjects which you can just mug up on a screen and you become a couch potato for the matter. Doctor, have any closing words? I think this is what yeah.
So I would just conclude by saying that this is a great moment to to reiterate and emphasize the importance of youth adopting skills in every part of their life. From the education to laddering the higher rungs of the profession. Without the actionable skills, I think the human development, what we say, the human resource development would not be complete.
So from 15th of July, 15th of August is our Independence Day, and then 15th of September is the Engineers Day, Moksha Gundam Vishweshwaraya Sa, and then 15th of October. So 3 months journey, we would be really asking the institutions to really log into, really elaborate upon the entire spectrum of the 21st century skills. How are they really impregnating it across? And how are they running it parallel with the top-down curriculum which has been imposed upon them? Curriculum is just like a kind of a guiding tool, but then the agency of the school and the agency of the teacher for that matter, it has to really go at that individualistic level. The teachers would really help every child, because the entire theory of multiple intelligences says that humans are not programmed ubiquitously. So someone has got a particular intelligence, a mathematical intelligence on a higher pedestal than the kinesthetics intelligence for that matter. And I think with the advent of technology, we have smart processes with us in the whole fray. So 7th of November, we would be having the AI Smart Schools narrative also. So these are very intertwined conversations which we at Rethink India try and supplement the entire Shiksha Samvad in that matter. So thank you very much, and let's recapitulate our commitment towards that education's core function in this modern economy is also to impart upon skills, because the skills make you employable, skills make you earn. Like typing is a skill. The voice to text has come in a big way, but if you have not learnt typing, it's a very focused skill. So stenographers used to dot the clerical confines of all our departments in a big way, but then still typing, even on the QWERTY keyboard or the single hand or on the mobiles, whatever we are doing. So skills at a very atomized level of things. So how many skills we can really incorporate, we can really embark upon that. Cooking, cleaning, clothing, we can just go on and on. The more the skill index we have got, the more enriched our lives in this technological driven era would become. Otherwise, we would be colonized and consumed by the larger corporate and colonial forces. We have to really enjoy our independence. I think more skills we can learn, and there is no end to learning. Today, the avenues of learning, you don't have to enroll yourself into a 3 years kind of a program. Any skill for that matter can be really picked up in a 3 weeks kind of or 3 months maximum to a fairly higher degree of competence. Like programming is a skill. Now, programming a Claude or a Gemini, these are different kind of, and even the top corporations are coming that we really don't need a 4 year graduation degree for that matter. Degrees are fine; they have their own decorative aspects, but then skilling, learning to skill yourself, I think that is something which we should all adopt at, and today we should recommit ourselves and learning from the Doyen APJ Abdul Kalam sir, who really created that fabulous missile program for us, and we won the Operation Sindoor based on that BrahMos missiles riding on top of it. So from the most advanced to the very, like, gardening is a skill. Do we really knowing, okay, this is this plant, this is this plant, and what are its applications, but then actually applying it, applying of a knowledge is a skill. So that then you become a medical skills person कि okay, आपको अगर गले में खराश आ रही है, घर में अगर strepsils या vicks नहीं है, तो we can really prepare a काढ़ा. A lot of home remedies are out there which are really, the eastern medicine of China is progressing in a big way. So India has its own Ayurveda, the dadi nani ke nuske. So it is all the skills we are all learning. So let's start it from the household. That what are the 4, 5, 10 skills we can really pick it up. We can really become an asset to the household, and then we can start from our mother. If she's working, she's in a profession. If our father is in a profession, any manufacturing or any other stuff, and then schooling is fine. Then all across the neighborhood, all skills whatever we are using in our lives, how the dry cleaning is done, just go and look at it, how the dry cleaning is done, how the car washing is being done. So the entire modern economy, if we say, it is a mixing of hundreds and thousands of skills, and what fraction of it all we can adopt. And maybe one of the, like, photography is a skill. You have to have an eye for photography, and even if you have a iPhone, whatever versions we have got, we have lost count of it all. And if we don't know how the lighting effect has to be done, and knowing and applying are entirely two different aspects. So electrician work, plumbing work, and once we have done it, I think we can become creators or the higher level. We can really become a missile engineer. Who stops us in doing that? We can really send a human mission to the Mars, the most complex of it all. We can really get into the biochemistry if we have really understood the chemistry of chai ki patti. So I think, friends, it's all intertwined, it's all interconnected, and the Avatar movie, it has come on 24th of June, the fire and ash version of it all, and it shows that how the creation, how the cosmic conscious, Eva, the cosmic consciousness which is mentioned out there, is all interconnected. So similarly, skills are so very interconnected, and on 20th of July, we are having the International Chess Day, and we will show that भारतवर्ष की जो 64 कलाएँ हैं, रीथिंक इंडिया would be sharing that infographic. वो जो कलाएँ हैं और विद्याएँ हैं, वी आर टू डिस्टिंक्शंस ऑफ इट ऑल. कलास वर द हैंड्स ऑन स्किल्स, विद्यास वर the deeper aspects of it all, the philosophical purports of it all, the mantra vigyan. So skill and the kaushal and vidya. So this is all the whole narrative of it all. It looks a bit complex, but then let's get on to ki we will pick up one skill a week, starting from the domestic spaces. Like cleaning is a skill. The dusting lady who is dusting your desk is a skill. Yoga karmasu kaushalam. That is what Srimad Bhagavad Gita talks about at, कि कर्म का कौशल ही योग है. तो किसी भी कर्म में हम अगर कौशल को प्राप्त करते हैं, आई थिंक दैट इज़ वॉट इज़ ऑल्सो द इंटेंट ऑफ द वर्ल्ड यूथ स्किल्स डे, which we are commemorating, dedicated to our beloved Abul Pakir Jainul Abdeen Abul Kalam sir. And we would be re-invoking this on 27th of July, also on 15th of October, when we would be giving up the APJ Abdul Kalam appreciation for the 21st century skills. But when we talk about 21st century skills, we really need to have entire spectrum of it all under it. So thank you so much, and Dr. Surbi, any closure words we would be, yeah.
So just inviting all the K-12 institutions, the schools, and even the higher education institutions to join in and to nominate your and participate in this 21st century skills contest, and especially the schools, and how, because it begins at that level, and again, from all of us at Rethink Media, thank you so much for this patient hearing and discussion.
So even putting up a backdrop on a Zoom link, having its aspect ratio proper, that is also a skill. So I'm just trying to that whatever we